And welcome to our Dharma night.
So great to be here.
And this is part of our Rudra Yoga Foundation course as well. So I'm going to ask an opening question of Lisa.
David, remember we talked a few months ago about you taking the full comprehensive course?
Yeah.
I do, yes. It just didn't work in my schedule this time.
Well, the whole idea is to plan it. You organize your life around it. Anyway, I didn't think of it until yesterday. So we'll do the foundation course again after the end of this course, but we'll get you started in winter.
You can take the recorded course. It's recorded.
Yeah.
Or you can take the recorded course, and we'll talk about it later. Sophia, what do you want to talk about?
I would like to ask you the first question.
Oh, okay.
We've been talking about the different lineage masters and your relationship to them.
Different ways.
Lineage masters and your relationship to them. And one of the most important ones we've not talked about yet, and that is Sheikh Hassan. So I'd like for you to see what comes up tonight regarding your relationship with Sheikh Hassan, what you received, what that was, any story.
Well, I can just say that when he came from San Francisco with some people that had agreed, and he lived in Palestine. And he walked in the house and he had a cane. It's like Romana over there, and walking on a cane, and he had on a typical Arab dress with that, veil and white knit hat. And he walking on the cane. He looked pretty old. He gets up to it, so we had him on the second floor, and this is an old house. So it had very narrow, very steep stairs. So he's thought he was going to die going up the stairs. Did we get him in his room? He takes off that Arab dress, and he has the energy of a teenage boy. I mean, I've never seen anyone with that energy at any age. And so he told me to call Joe Miller, because he really connected with Joe Miller out in San Francisco. And I did. And Joe Miller says, Sheikh Hassan has more spiritual force than anyone I've ever met. And whatever comes up, just go with it. That was the beginning of it. It was an incredible experience. So I remember he just was full of joy. And he led these very joyful Sufi dances. And he chain smoked Marlboros. And if people were talking and that, just even if their minds were busy, he'd throw a cigarette at them and he said, "Shake it," which means shut up. That's another thing about him. So he said he would come back 2 more times after that. He said 3 days, and gave me an initiation. And it's really my foundation connection. And I remember somebody asking me what he's like, and I said he's like a sugar cube with cyanide inside. But that's really it. The power is so sweet and loving, and you just take all that in, but the spiritual force would just turn you inside out, transform your life. So that's basically good introduction to Sheikh Hassan. Well,
So that's, he says Sufi initiation as Murshid Isa Momani Potter.
now can I see what? They can make one stuff.
Yes.
Shake and bake.
Shake and bake. What do you want to talk about?
Shake a shakti.
This is Sheikh Hassan's cane that Murshid brought to the school. This is his cane, and he's shown in pictures with his cane.
Oh,
So that is the original cane that
Where'd you get that?
you gave it to me.
I did?
Yep.
and this
Okay.
is Jones cane, it's magic wand.
I have two canes. It was Sheikh Hassan's, and this one I'm not sure where this came from. I always wanted to ask you this question, where it was a snake like, where this cane came. It was entrusted to Haha and I to take care of. This is a snake like, very solid cane.
Cool.
I don't recognize it.
And you gave her and I both of these to be guardians of. Hassan, which is in his pictures as his walking cane, and this one, which is the serpent. It's like the Kundalini.
Cool.
It's a whistle.
And this one's a whistle,
Mhm.
so it's like a whistle on it
Mhm.
for Sheikh Hassan.
Awesome.
Fascinating.
And I gave both of these to you.
Yes.
Haha,
Haha.
hey,
How did he walk after he gave his canes away?
Here's what I want to talk about. I experienced that.
I'm
gonna-
shelf in the fridge called Bang, B-A-N-G. Would you grab that for me?
Mhm.
Okay, go ahead.
I experienced much of the time I'm in a Bardo state, or I would say in between worlds. So I'm in heaven a lot, and then I come into this reality and go, oh my God, I'm coming back here again. Like, it's like a shock to come back. When I rest, I'm in this incredible blissful state, just like, oh my God, I never want to leave it. And I wake up going, oh my God, I'm here. And I feel like I'm living so many memories of so many lifetimes where I've repeated the same cycle over and over and over again. So I work to get in my body real present, to go either the bike ride, swimming, getting in my body, but it's always in this state of worlds where I'm working to bring my heaven experience, which is when I rest and in this blissful state, and always coming here going, oh, there's responsibility, there's obligation, there's got to do this, I got to practice. And so I'm just so much, that split in between worlds, it still exists. And I'm able to feel really good and happy, but it's still just a shock feeling I'm here on earth. Like it's a shock. It's like, well, oh my God, I got to go do that. And like I plan my day, and yet my greatest gift is to be in the state of union with God, just constantly. When I rest, I'm just like, oh, I'm at peace now. And I feel like I'm in a war being here. So it's like a bardo. It's like I'm in between worlds a lot. And I work to bring them together every day. Like, because when I work, I'm joyful. I'm just like on fire. People feel it. And yet my nervous system's not settled in that state of inner peace where I'm in that deep experience of being with God, or the lineage, or with yourself, or it's just still such a state of, it's still separation. It's just so I'm watching it all, observing it.
Thanks for sharing. David, do you have something you'd like to talk about?
I do. I'd like to pass along an invitation to you that we received. A couple nights ago, we met with a woman, her name's Sheila, and she owns the Garden of Light. It's advertised. We shared the link with you. She's a fascinating woman, very, very spiritual, very connected, and she she feels and has the experience that the garden she's created over the last 10, 12 years of her life and just put everything into it is truly a place of healing. And that's what she wants it to be, and that's what she is drawing to that place. And that's why she reached out to us and to the resort to have our healers sort of what would you say, work there, merge, sort of do business together, if you will, because she has a commercial license there, and she does host weddings, but she's kind of lost the thrill of hosting weddings because they're just parties and they're drinking and things like that. She's more into the spiritual and healing and helping people than people just partying and getting drunk and having weddings.
Why
And-
her enthusiasm?
I beg your pardon?
Because at weddings, people get drunk and they're just partying. and get drunk. She wants to be more supportive, healing activities.
Let me see how far it is from Bonzo.
Yes. And now she's located 2 miles from the resort. So she's literally right in the backyard. And what she shared was that she would like to invite you there so that you can experience the garden, and she's even open to naming it after you.
That'd be very nice.
Yeah.
You want to come in and take it?
Hmm.
There's two different things in here.
There's 2 different kinds,
Chocolate.
dark chocolate and white chocolate.
Oh, okay.
The white chocolate has,
Chunky dark
cashews.
chocolate or
the
chunky
dark
almond?
chocolate has
Just a
almonds.
piece.
Look, it's not hard.
Homemade angel cookies, dark chocolate with almonds, white chocolate with cashews.
They've come though.
I'd
You
like
can
to
taste
feel a little
it through the
bit of-
screen, right? Heart shaped
Y'all should have been here.
cookies. Cookies.
David, is there something else you'd like to talk about?
Just get your thoughts on that. Is that something you'd be interested in? Going to visit and see it?
That's my father, you said she would like for me to come visit,
Yes.
then I'd like to do that.
Great.
Her lineage and inspiration is Sai Baba.
What about Sai Baba?
Sai Baba.
That's the woman's
Jai.
lineage and inspiration.
Jai Sai Baba.
Sai Baba.
Jai Jai Sai
So she's
Baba.
connected
You
to
mean-
Sai Baba.
She's just like she is when she's on the Zoom, yelling over everybody and
She's out of control.
That red.
Somebody said Jai Sai Baba.
okay. Now, I couldn't hear what you were saying because home was celebrating. Could you say that again?
I just getting your feelings and thoughts on going there and visiting and experience at the garden.
Said something about the woman and.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Sai Baba.
Her initiatory train or her inspiration has been Sai Baba. She has peacocks there, and it's a garden she worked on for many, many years. And it's a space that she actually owns. She lives maybe 10 minutes from us in Orange County with a husband. She's developed another property she owns in Escondido. It's like a how can I put it? She's doing like greenhouses for children. And so she said she's just very interested in people teaching and healing and having it dedicated fully as a spiritual center. And she said, well, maybe the Bonsall location could be where we could do commercial things and then feed people to the Bonsall location for retreat or specialty workshops. But she's been hounding me probably for about a month.
She's passionate.
She's real passionate about saying you teach. I want to offer this, and this. And and has asked me to come down, but also to invite you personally, Murshid, to come and look and see what you feel.
Really?
That's it. Who lives at the property in Bunsen?
We can't do it.
Nobody does.
Robert Bonzo?
Yeah. Hers property at the Garden of Light. Yeah, I don't think anybody lives there. It's more of a venue sort of thing.
She travels back
Mhm.
and forth almost. She said she went there every single day from Mission Viejo every day for
Mhm.
like 10 years.
10 years straight.
10 years
7
she went
days a
back
week.
and forth 7 days a week. And then when COVID hit, she stopped doing the wedding venues, and she set up fully for party venue, fully
Mhm.
for a banquet. Then she just closed it down, and the whole time she worked on the gardens and has
Mhm.
peacocks and all kinds of wildlife there, and just wanted to make the garden perfect. And in the garden, she was told by God, this needs to be a healing center. And then she heard about me through the gardener I hired. I said, I want you to make Bonzo so beautiful. And he's Hernan, he's Opal's connection. And we had a very heart connection. And I was just so grateful. I said, please make our beautiful property beautiful. And he did that. And then he passed my name to her. And she called me out of the blue and said, I've heard about you. And then we had an instant connection, same age. She's from Iran, and instant, easy connection. And yet she's like, come down. I'm like, well, I don't know if I can come down. I'm busy.
Mhm.
But it's just, she keeps moving this direction. So I can't ignore it, because when she spoke to us, she was talking along the lines of Moses, of Sai Baba. She follows the God force. She loves God, and yet it's 2 miles away. And maybe the commercial aspect of the project could move, and it could be a collaboration. That's all. But she did say, if it's a spiritual center, I'll name it after your master. I'm like, well, that would be nice. Maybe that would work. I'd like that. And so I said, well, come down. So David said the next move would be for us to invite you and maybe meet her down there to share and see the feeling of all that.
I'll go. Pancha, do you have something you want to talk about?
Thanks.
No, sir.
Quinn, do you have something you want to talk about?
Nope.
He's out of nowhere yet.
Yes, it
No.
is.
There's a note.
Laura, do you have something you want to talk about?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah. The portal of energy that occurs for one when it is their birthday time.
Birthday portal.
Bundle?
Portal.
And what are you asking?
Well,
The birthday portal.
yeah.
What is the portal for one on their birthday? Are you asking a question or do you want to talk about it?
Well, I was just interested in hearing thoughts about it because I was thinking about it today and wondering if there could be maybe some more conversation or more thoughts or more considerations. So I like that you put it in a question, Rashida. Thanks for helping me out. Yeah.
Yes. So much.
I think it's an open discussion. If anybody has an idea about a portal that opens up on your birthday.
Well, I'm sure it is for most people. I mean, most people know their birthday and be sure they're always sure to have a party. But I know sure to have a party now. Sophia says she doesn't celebrate her birthday, but she used to. She probably just doesn't want to celebrate it now because she thinks she's old or something. I don't know. But most people just celebrate their birthday, so whether there's a portal or not, I would think it would be in the mind. I don't relate to my birthday, the one, where my mama would say, where you slipped out of my slimy slough. That's her Alabama talk. Now, I don't celebrate that birthday, but I participate if somebody wants to celebrate it. For me, my birthday is when I met the person who delivered me to the state of awakening. So for me, my birthday's
We're missing sound.
$1971. So to me, that's my birthday. That's an important day of, because I just because people have bodies, it doesn't mean they're born. You're born when your all your lights turn on, when you're fully functional.
Could you repeat that date?
Maybe it's us. I guess it's us.
Teachers.
No, it's their internet is,
Oh, okay, it's not us. Okay.
yeah, no, it's not on our end, it's their end, I believe.
Thanks.
Evidently it froze, the internet froze everyone. So Isa, did you get that he's saying he celebrates his birthday on December 21st, which is when he met Yogi Bhajan at the first winter solstice in 1971. And that started the whole process of his waking up. And for me, that would be Halloween. I met Isa in that Boulder Mall celebration of Halloween in my wedding gown. Dressed up as Miss Haversham of the Dickens story, waiting for her bridegroom. Well, that's a bit cute.
And for me, it would be June of '89 at a dinner party in in Evergreen, Colorado. Denver, Colorado. Denver.
And Melissa had something she wanted to say.
Well, I asked if there were days like that that your teachers had celebrated or how they treated their own birthdays.
No, to me, the important, the awareness that just because you have a body means you're born didn't make any sense. So I just thought of that myself, I guess, although I'm sure plenty of people thought of it. Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
Oh, Mara has more.
Okay, Mara.
How do we reconcile then this, it's a concept of sort of the astrological convergence that occurs, that's unique at every time, every moment. And I thought I had heard of a moment where there was some consultation with an astrologer that either you, Murshida, or you, Isa, or somebody had done. And so there's that concept of connecting to the bigger picture based on the movement of the heavenly bodies. And so I have found for myself, and maybe it's, of course, I'm hearing you, Isa, that it's mind state, that there seems to be, or I perceive, an opportunity of accelerated transition around the time that I am born. And it could be as simple as, because I have repeatedly over this lifetime acknowledged that time, that I'm almost making a stronger groove for
Well,
maybe.
I've never had any interest in astrology or even looked into it at all. So I know that there are all kinds of astrological indicators around your birthday. And a lot of people, it's a big part of their life. And we do have a friend that's a shamanic astrologer. And no, it's called Fit Aid. That one's not called Fit Aid. That one's called,
There's a chocolate and
it's the one
Sure,
called
okay.
Fit Aid. Now let's see, that
It
other
should be in
one.
the first
a
grade.
feels good thing like.
Not ignite, I'll take it ignite. But put that back and bring the Fit Aid.
Is
Maybe
there
it's
different
another
flavors? Is there a flavor you like? Is
No, it
there
doesn't matter, just Fit Aid.
Fit
Don't the Kundalini yogis have a strong connection to astrology in their practice?
What I know about, what came through Yogi Bhajan was numerology. So then, yes, that has to do with your birthday and the numerology of your birthday. And the numbers relating to the 10 bodies and the Sikh gurus and their wisdom both. And having a way to look at your birthday to say, you know, these are your gifts, or this is your past area of expertise, or you got this in your back pocket all the time, and then these are areas of work, and your path in this lifetime is. So there's that system of numerology that he shared. And then Daniel Giamario, the shamanic astrologer, when he looked at Isa and my charts together, because he would look at couples together, so way back when, he looked at it, and there was something unusual about our charts together, and he said he never saw it in anybody else's charts, and he's done thousands of charts. So he just told us that and said that, you know, we have a unique relationship, and I don't remember the details. There weren't really details along with that.
I remember the detail.
Okay, no, that's the detail. It's about how
He
we
said-
create.
No, he said he'd never seen two people that were so clearly so far from the future. Exactly what he said. And you told me,
And I feel like a new seed just started.
well, you told me that. You don't remember?
No, I remember the part about there's a unique relationship.
That's what you told me, you told me. It's the only way I know it.
Kind of feels like it was you that's so far from the future, but then somehow.
No, he said we, he said there's a couple, telling you.
No,
Hey, they're telling you.
No, I. That's Spanish. No, there isn't any.
Well, I understand it. No,
There's Coke, there's all kinds of other things, but there's no Fit Aid.
It's in a bottle, it's in a can like this, but it's a different color.
Not called Fit Aid, but there's other drinks, lots of other drinks.
I'll take a look real quick.
But I didn't see any Fit Aid. And they're well
Here, I'll
organized,
give you this.
very clean in there. But I didn't see
Yeah, well, might
anything
be
called Fit Aid. Sorry.
Mara, is there more you'd like to talk about?
No, but I guess I will say I have for myself personally felt like an activated time. And I'm also quite surprised with the story that I have gone through. I'm realizing that I've made there's something in high contrast to the parts of me that haven't want to be here, and yet really having a strong, like I show up. I have in the past, I have shown up very strong to acknowledge my birth. And I'm saying that with a plus. I feel I have experienced I've just like it's a particular activating time. So I just was wondering what your thoughts were, and what, and this being Rashida's birthday, and it just seemed sort of topical.
Well, it makes complete sense. I've mainly related to birthdays as a time when you can get a bunch of stuff. People give you stuff. I know, like in this community, when people would ask me what I want for my birthday, I would think of something that, like would be good for the community. All of us. Like the Orbitron out of Liberty. You know the Orbitron?
Yeah, I saw it today.
That was my birthday present. When we had a office above that building on Acadia Boulevard.
Oh, yeah, the units.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was an interesting discussion.
One more thing about astrology and that whole picture that Daniel Giamario did with us is he put us in a circle, our community in a circle, in our spots, astrological spots, according to moon sign. What we had to talk about, kind of graduating from that school. We're going to talk about this. And then he would put us in the circle of the rising sign. And then after that, to see this is what the school you're in now. And then he'd put us in our sun sign, and this is what fuels you. This is what gives you the passion and the fuel to do what you do. And so that was meaningful. And then also, I remember you came in and you talked to everybody at one point, and with Daniel, and you were having a discussion in front of us about how, okay, that's how the stars and the planets and everything were set up when you were born. And so that's going to give you both something about the influence that supports you and something about the influence that's just kind of really messing you up. It's like super difficult, or like obstacles, or big challenges. And so from your point of view, I remember you were sharing that it's always the same. Like instead of being here or here or here or here, it's how to be the whole thing and rest quietly in the still center. It's like dissolve the whole structure that holds you in a thing that way. So you're free. You're free of those damn planets and stars and stuff circling around when you're born, and you are truly liberated. You're free of the bodies.
To overcome the chart.
Yeah, to overcome the chart. Okay, so
Yogi Bhajan said that your chart is something you overcome. You're not limited by it. It gives you gifts and opportunities, but what you do with it is up to you.
I like the shamanic astrology.
Yeah, the
Because
energy.
because it has that kind of framing to it, like what you've done in the past, what you're kind of focused on now, and just what you're learning, yeah, and like, yeah, what your
And the
role is.
transits, what you're going through now.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. We have the book in the library at Liberty. And it's a good read. If anybody hasn't picked it up.
Yeah,
Shamanic
so,
astrology.
yeah, so she's read Daniel Giamario's book. Shamanic astrology, it is informative.
You have something you want to talk about?
Gratitude.
Go ahead.
I'm grateful to be here.
That's it?
Very grateful to be here. I made it.
You did make it.
Here.
All right, well, thank you all for showing up, and we'll be here tomorrow night. And also, we're offering anyone who would like to come to the closing of the course, the Zoom link for that. Or you can come in person,
Tomorrow at 4.
right?
Yeah, and we haven't talked about the closing of the closing of the closing, but there'll be a completion class with me to wrap up the course material that I've been working with. And I'm expecting that to be noon. I think that's what I put out there, that it would be, we'll have a regular morning, 7 to 9, 9:30, including the shade. Come back together at noon, giving ourselves an extra half hour instead of 11:30, and then doing the final session. And then either Isa, our class with you, can coordinate after that final class for me to tidy up the rest of that course material, or it can be in the Dharma. In the normal time, 7:30. Dharma night, we have the final Dharma night with.
Well, you know, it might be better to make Dharma night part of the course, because that's the only way people in the course will participate.
Well, that's what we've done. It is in the course, but you mean like put it in the day? Just move it up
Yeah.
to the daytime? Yeah,
Because right now, it's part of the course. In other words, the course goes up to 7,
30.
and then you meditate with everybody. I think it looks like you're doing Rudra meditation with everybody, and then we have Dharma night. So I'm thinking we might do it similar way. Have Dharma night at that time.
At 7:30, our normal time, yeah?
Yeah. No. Because you're going to end the course before 11:30, aren't you?
Yes,
So what, that time,
okay. So then let's plan for 2:00 class.
okay, 2:00.
Does that work for everybody?
Let me see.
Here's another ceremony. The new case.
Case.
The new case.
This is in regards to tomorrow, correct?
New sunglasses.
Yes,
Even
tomorrow.
my new sunglasses, it's a new case. Next thing I get is,
Holy wow. Already.
uh,
I have a one last little thing, since we were bringing up the word intensive or course, and how do you feel about people popping in, given it's a 20 course,
But I put the part.
given it's a 20 course meal? How do you feel about people coming to dinner for certain meals?
You mean coming into a single class or session at any one time, or are you talking about
Yes.
start a course in the middle, even though they didn't come to foundation?
Both, actually. Sure.
Okay, so the program is, the way it works is it's a continual wheel. And you can step into the wheel, the cycle anytime. So you don't have to have had this course to come into other courses. And the only place where I have to ask people to do a little extra work is when we hit the bun cycle at the end. Everybody needs to have that intro. Because it's too much detail and too foundational to all the courses to come to have to reteach that every single time to a new person. So then I offer a day-long intro so they can have it and it's recorded and they practice it on their own for a little bit and I can have a conversation with them from time to time and they do some preparation.
Yep, I'm a perfect example of that very thing.
Yeah, there you go. And so,
Yep.
But otherwise, they stand alone.
Yeah.
Each course stands alone as well as connected to what was before and what's coming.
Yep. I mean, I would say that is my own personal experience. And I, you know, what is being taught, what is offered is so rich. I would love to see more people take advantage of it. And I just want to know that I can talk about it in that way,
Oh, yeah.
you know, because I, in my own, anyway, so very, very good. And knowing that we can all talk about it in that way so that we can continue to share the richness that is here.
Yeah, and then I've started to give little mini Rudra yoga talks and posting them on YouTube. And somebody could start listening.
Well, I suppose this is sort of a opportune moment to call it a night. Oh,
There you are. Okay, now at least the sound is back.
Here she is.
Okay. Forgot what I was saying.
The little talks you're giving are giving.
Oh, yeah.
YouTube.
YouTube short little talks. I'm gonna keep doing that. Pretty regularly, just keep adding to it and put material up that way. So somebody could get their feet wet by looking at those. And certainly our Dharma nights are completely open to everybody all the time, and you can share the newsletter I put out, you know, by just forwarding it on to a person, which then allows them to get into those kind of things, or would allow them to connect with me if they want to be on the mailing list or anything like that. And then we're developing a Rudra yoga website.
yep, which I've seen it. Great.
And then you can, yeah, share that. And on both of my site and their site, there's a brochure. It's actually possible to get the whole banana by reading the brochure.
I've read the brochure thoroughly. It's a wonderful brochure.
Yeah. So for someone who can absorb through the mind, through jhana yoga, and get the essence, it could all come through that brochure. It's possible. Or at least get somebody excited to want to start coming and practicing.
Indeed. Thank you.
And then as far as anybody coming to a single session in the middle of a course, that's just per case basis and what's going on with the group and who is it, and we just have to look at it. So Michelle texted me, asked me, can I show up for morning practice in your course tomorrow? And when she first asked me, I said, I'm not sure yet, but let me get the thing going, because I knew what day she wanted to come, and then let me see. And then it felt okay to me, and then I asked you all, and nobody had an objection. She popped in for a session. Seemed fine. Anybody else have any kind of practical, technical question?
Beautiful to see Om and Melissa there.
The sound of silence is very loud right now.
Night.
What?
He said good night.
Hey,
Hi, hi.
computer, turn off.
Thanks for all your care today, Mara. And I should have said that to everybody, but you were, I think maybe you headed it up. I'm sure.
You know, I'm